how you doing? Good to see you again. I'm back again just to share with you some more powerful thoughts and some more powerful insight as ever. Okay, I'm Alpha, for those who do not know. To start off, please do subscribe, like, share, and hit the bell button so that you can get more videos when I upload them. Okay, and today I'd like to share with you one of the most important and most critical and crucial subject, which is relationship. As a matter of fact, it's going to come as an advice from me, okay? Somebody who's got experience in relationship and who is happily married, okay? And this relationship, this actually advice is going to be addressed to women and girls alike, right? Okay? I know you will enjoy this one, okay? So, let's go. Building relationship. It should be a strategy. It's very important to have a strategy, not just jump into a relationship, okay, not expecting happiness, and joy. That's not how it works. So you're going to have to do a little bit of actually planning and strategy, okay? Not like business planning, but just, a little bit of common sense. Just think first. Think before you start a relationship, okay? So that's the art of building a relationship, all right? Having sex. A lot of women and girls think having sex will give you joy and happiness. Okay, fine. But however, it doesn't work like that in the real world, okay? And this is sometimes, or most of the time, what leads to broken hearts, unfortunately. All right, so you're going to have to know basically how to go about having sex. It's not just giving it away and feeling good and then, be happy. That's not how it goes. So please make sure you know what you're doing before having sex. All right, okay. Now, the man you need, important to emphasize, and I insist on that. Do you need a man or do you want a man? There is a difference between wanting and needing, okay? When you need a man, you're supposed to need a man that is going to be there for you for good, who's going to be looking after you, take care of you, okay, and make you happy and fulfilled, all right? It's very, very important, okay? Now, there's also this notion of unconditional love. If you got that, you will be very happy. But I'll tell you something, there's not many men that can give unconditional love, but they exist, okay? So be happy and excited. They do exist, right? And conditional love, you can find it. You're a woman, you're a girl, I'm sure you know about it from mom, okay? Moms have natural unconditional love, okay? And they're gifted about it. All right, so that's why most of the time that's women who actually bring unconditional love into a relationship. Okay, now we're going to also touch on that. And finally, building stronger relationships. There's, like I said before, that's an art and you have to know how to do it. You will be asking also lots of questions. Questions are very important. Why? Because they will actually help you to make better decisions about something, particularly about a relationship. Absolutely important to ask questions before jumping into a relationship. You would know who that man is, what he's about, and his his personality, and if this will be the man you really deserve and need to have a very happy and long-lasting relationship. Okay, that's all for now, but please, like I said, do check the vlog. Remember to subscribe, like and share. Looking forward to see you again. Until then, take care of yourself. Peace, love, and harmony. Relationship advice for women and girls. In this article, I will delve deep into how you can help yourself get the better out of a relationship building. Here is a scenario that any girl or woman who dated before knows too well. You meet a man or a boy, let's say Mike. You fancy each other, you start dating, and the very first night, assuming you are both sober and not under any influence of alcohol or drugs, Mike asks for intimacy. How should you conduct yourself? Even though you anticipated that this might be in Mike's mind, because you fancy each other, you are protective of yourself and say no to Mike. Mike insists and tries hard to convince you that you should do it if you really fancy him. You insist that you do not want sex just yet, but want to get to know Mike. In the end, you get your way and sex did not happen the first day. What next? Mike did not disappear. He keeps in touch. You see him again to go out for a meal or a movie. Now, if Mike disappeared, you would certainly be very glad and salute yourself. You would probably think, yeah, great, I thankfully get rid of a serial player, a playboy. But Mike stays put. He calls you now and then to build a relationship. You like Mike, and you soon start to think about him more often. The obvious is that you want to build a relationship, maybe even a long-lasting one. And building a relationship can take time, and only you will eventually know if you know Mike enough to offer what Mike wanted in the first place: sex. Building a relationship. Mike and you are getting to know each other. Your relationship progresses well. You see each other very often. You discover that Mike is charming, has a good sense of humor, and listens to you just as he ended up doing the first time round, even though he did insist to have sex with you. So your relationship is getting stronger, and Mike is not asking for sex anymore. He's now waiting for you to initiate it, thinking, maybe one day she will give me sex. Then 2 or 3 months later, you decided to have sex with Mike, because even though Mike did not ask for it again, you felt you wanted to give him what he wanted when you met the very first time. You feel, yeah, we're in love. It seems quite rational to you because Mike is being a good boy. He even offers you some of the most fine flowers he could find. So you invite Mike for a romantic meal. With candlelit surroundings, the awesome aroma of the atmosphere takes you into a deep feeling of love. Everything is just perfect. The food, the wine and dessert. And Mike is also having a great time, smiling charmingly at you, chatting as a loving gentleman would do. Having sex. The dinner was great, Mike tells you. He really appreciates your company and had a great time. Tonight is a perfect night, you feel. And tonight, you have sex with Mike. Now, is this relationship going to last? If Mike keeps it after having at last what he wanted in the first place, will you be happy in that relationship? You wanted to build a relationship and you seem to be getting what you want. But is Mike really the man you need for a long-lasting, fulfilling relationship? Mind you, there is a difference between a need and a want. Mike wanted sex in the first place because he asked for it first, and you needed a relationship. Now that Mike has got what he wanted, he surely can't dump you, can't he? He got what he wanted the very first time you met: sex. And since he wanted sex as soon as he met you, then if he sees and meets another girl or woman like you, he would most likely ask for the same. Believe it or not, this is how men's mind work most of the time. This is to say, boys and men usually are after what their eyes see, body, meaning sex. Whereas girls and women are after building a relationship. As for you, did you really get what you wanted, building a relationship with Mike? broken hearts. The truth about relationships is that no matter how long you rely upon time to build a relationship, you can never have enough time to judge a man definitely. Why? Because even 3 years is very short to really know Mike very well, let alone 3 months. Many relationships and marriages can last a very long time, I mean years, and end up breaking apart, and sometimes very badly, bringing with them lots of heartache and misery, particularly for girls and women alike, because something hidden for a long time from the man has suddenly come out. But why? The reason is simple. Girls and women do not most of the time take following strategy before dating or marrying a man. Firstly, learn and remember that a boy or man can play a game of hiding their true personality for a long time, only showing their good side. Secondly, naturally boys and men easily think about sex first before friendship or marriage, because masculinity does not require responsibility for the burden of carrying a baby nor nursing a child through breastfeeding. Men have it easy. Thirdly, men hardly stay in a relationship for the long haul, where they feel a girl or woman can easily give them sex. Why? Because boys and men are not really geared to want easy sex, so they tend to see any girl and woman that catches their eyes as made for sex. And if a boy or a man has this in mind most of the time, then they will easily jump from relationship to relationship driven only by sex. So giving sex even 3 months or 3 years after meeting a man or boy does not guarantee that you are with the man you really need. The man you need. Some women long for the right man. However, a relationship is not a job. So the right man cannot be the solution for the long-lasting and fulfilling relationship you need. The right man could be the right one in every relationship he is involved with, and they keep failing every time he is with a new woman. The man who cares all the time is the one you need. He will care when you need him. He will care when you are down. He will care when you are sick. He will care when you are pregnant. He will care when the baby arrives. He will care when the children need playing. He will care when you grow old and beauty becomes skin deep. He will care with actions, not just words. Back in my school days, one of my pals asked me, "Do you know what Adidas stands for?" I said no. So he went. All day I think about, and I said sex. He said, "How cool." And we had a laugh. I was intrigued but not surprised. Adidas is a very well-known brand, and for someone to come up with an acronym such as this one does not surprise anyone. I could bet my house it was a boy or a man. As boys, we very often talk about girls and sex. Boys and men think about sex most of the time. Ask lots of questions. So, it is very important to ask very relevant questions to any boy or man with whom you want to have a strong and very lasting relationship. I know the following questions may be a little investigative, but they will help you figure out if a boy or man is really going to be there for a good, long-lasting relationship. 1. What do you think is more important in a relationship? If the answer is other than care, then that is not the man that will make you happy. 2. Will you be willing to answer honestly any question I may wish to ask you? If they hesitate or feel uncomfortable, then that is not the man you need. Dishonest boys and men do not like too many questions. They will get a bit uncomfortable. Don't get me wrong, no one likes being investigated like a criminal, because the human psyche is already programmed to believe it is being seen as guilty if investigated. But there is a way to always get answers with your query by coming across in a friendly manner. That way, it would not sound too investigative. Let's say, as a girl or woman, I wanted to know about your past relationships, which is very important when you want to build a long-lasting relationship. I then start by, I am very open to answering honestly any question you may have, and I mean any. How about you? It could be questions regarding how many girls or women did you date before? Or how is your relationship with your mom? Most boys and men who do not have a long-lasting relationship with their own mother will most likely not have a long-lasting relationship with a girl or woman. Caring and affection together is the best form of love. I would even call it higher love. Unconditional love. For example, most mothers love their children dearly because they have this eternal unconditional love, which is care and affection. Why? Because women are naturally carers by instinct and by nature. A mother will stay up all night to make sure her baby sleeps first, is well fed and protected. A mother will be there when her child or baby is sick, no matter what. A mother will never cross the road dragging her baby's pram behind her. She would hold it tight and proceed ahead when it is safe to cross. This is for the sake of her child. This is care. How many times did you see a couple crossing the road and the boy or man starts crossing, leaving his woman behind? You can actually test a man that way to see if they really care about you by asking him to cross with you on a small crossing. If he holds you tight and crosses with you side by side, then he cares for your safety. If he crosses on his own, then wait for you on the other side, he does not care at all. If he crosses in front by pulling your hand, he does not care. If he watches you cross first, then follows behind, he does not care. You see, my friends, this is about care and affection. If a man truly cares for you, it shows. I'm not talking about flowers and roses. It is more than that. It is considering you first like his mom. If a man takes care of his mom, he will take care of you. So it is worth researching the relationship any boy or man has with their mom before building a relationship with him. Another good example of a relationship that will last is that of two childhood sweethearts. They would grow up knowing each other very well. They would, by the time they are grown-ups, discover almost every bit of the character, personality, likes, dislikes, desires, plans, needs, strength, weaknesses, wants, and needs of each other. Stronger relationships. So, those relationships are more likely to grow stronger and last in a harmonious and loving future together. Mind you, growing with a boy, girls can easily detect if he is a serial liar, which is harder for them if they meet a man as a grown-up. Remember, building a relationship takes time. It is a tall and strong house to build together. It must have a strong foundation. And the building blocks are friendship, honesty, sincerity, trust, patience, affection, and most importantly, care. When the house is complete and the result is an awesome building, there will still be a long, joyous life of embellishing to be done together into infinity. But it all starts by taking care of yourself first.